you're back at your first LAN event in a long time. Have you missed it?
Yeah, of course. It's been, I think, a year or more actually. So missed it a lot, and it's fun to see a lot of the old faces that you haven't seen in a long time.
You haven't missed the reporters or interviews or what?
Yeah, well, that's fine as well. I mean, it's okay. It's something that when you don't do it that often, you don't like get that trained in it. So it's always good to be back and train it a little bit. Cool.
Let's jump into things. How has it been the first couple of months coming after your return to Astralis?
I think it's been pretty good actually for me. I've been focusing on just trying to get a decent individual level that I'm happy with, and also just looking at the team. When I came into the team, it was a little bit bumpy in some, like, in a lot of ways, and now with Buzz and the new season here, it's actually going pretty well in practice, and in general, just the feeling of the team is good, and that's more what's important to me rather than achieving results here in the beginning. It's just like getting the right training mentality and also.
Yeah, because there have been a lot of things happening in Astralis lately. Can you try to put some words on how the roster has shaped up?
Yeah, I mean, like, I haven't been a part of the whole bad period, so to say. But the roster right now is, I would say, pretty good. Like, we have all the pieces of the puzzle we need, and I'm just happy with what we have, and we're excited to just play and like achieve some things together, hopefully.
Do the roles finally match again, or what? I know you haven't been a part of in the first period, but do you think it's matching right now?
Yeah, I would say the roles are definitely better now. It's always like roles in CS. I think they are kind of like fluid in some sort of way now. Obviously, there's the Auber and the IGL, but like the free riflers kind of have to be able to do everything. But yeah, it was an issue in the old Astralis. I think blameF is really grown into the role he has now, where he's playing more in the middle of the map, and yeah, it's something that is getting him a lot more action, and we're seeing like his talent shine more thoroughly. But he's had that role ever since I joined, so it's been normal for me, and yeah, I think Buzz as well. He brings some of that like young blood into the team and has a lot of talent, and he's really good at playing at like the edges of the map.
Because he's not just a one-to-one replacement for config, isn't he?
No, it's definitely not a one-for-one for config. But as I said, I didn't even get to play with config, so kind of it's hard for me to say like how it was for them in that iteration. But I'm very satisfied with how like things are shaking up role-wise.
What will Astralis' edge be? Where do you guys strive to be the best?
I mean, we definitely have to rely a lot on our like brains to try to figure out how to play different maps and all of that. And other than that, I would say like just as any other team, it's also about the individual level and everything right now. Yeah, like that's what I would say. Definitely with the team play and everything is going to be important.
Because you're known as a team in the past who rely much on team play and strats and all that. Do you think that's a place where you can differ from the rest?
I mean, I think all teams are pretty good in the team play regard, and the middle right now is definitely more individual. But it's when you look at like your identity as a team, I think it's obviously something we're working on improving, and I think also that it's something that everyone in the team wants to be good at. So it's where we kind of want to differ, but it's hard to say if that happens. And no matter what, you can differ on the team play and be better, but it's got to do with like the individual level and if you're good enough to compete.
Talking about you individually, what kind of device will we see here in Copenhagen?
I mean, I hope I will play good, but I'm not trying to put so much pressure on myself. It's my first tournament back, and I'm kind of like just getting the groove of it, just taking it really chill, and like I think I'll play good, but I'm not expecting too much. But yeah, we'll see.
When pracking and playing face and all that, how do you feel about your individual level, your mechanics and all that?
I mean, like mechanics-wise, I think I'm really good, and also in face and in practice, I'm definitely better than I've been before. But the individual level of everyone has also risen. So for me here at like Taiwan tournaments, it's also about reading your opponents really well, and yeah, so just like I feel good about my individual level, and I know I can perform really well, but I just don't want to go out there and expect too much, because I think it will be natural to have a transition period. But like if I play it to my top, I think I can be one of the best.
You're also now back under the leadership of Pley once again. How has he developed since you left?
I mean, Pley has definitely developed individually as well. I think he's becoming better, but it's one of the things where CS constantly changes. Like you have to be better all the time because these youngsters come in and they are better. So in that regard, he's definitely improved. Other than that, I would say like calling wise and understanding the meta, he's definitely kept up to the meta, which is way more like chaos rather than just like doing executes and defaults. It's about creating chaos for your opponents and just playing on intuition, which is very, very important right now. So I think like he's adapted well, and I think he now also feels he has the pieces of the puzzle to make things work.
You mentioned Pley having these pieces now in the puzzle, but what is your biggest role in this Pley system? And do you feel maybe that you have a bigger responsibility now than when you played with dupreeh, Magisk, Zip, and the original 5 roster?
I mean, I think like my responsibility is different. Definitely, yeah, I have more of a outspoken role, and like I think that the AWP in this meta generally just supports a little bit more on some maps, so it's a little bit different in some ways, but that is just how it is. And like the responsibility is the same. Like I'm AWPing, I have to keep up with like the best AWPers in the world. That's my like responsibility. Other than that, it's just helping the team develop, and also kind of like setting the bar for how we train, how we see ourselves as like competitive athletes and all of that. So, which is something that we really want to do in Astralis. We want to be professional and treat the game like a sport.
You have a new teammate in blameF, where you two look like you have created a kind of a dangerous duo. How do you see your partnership?
Really well, actually. It's always like when you join a team and you know a guy that has a big personality and he's really good, so you always wonder how much space does he take on the map and all of that. And I think we've kind of like found a really, really good rhythm in a really fast way, which is something I didn't expect it to go this fast. But we work a lot together also outside of like team practice, and we play a lot of spots together, and I think we have a lot of fun as well, and that's really important. And it's a big pleasure for me to play with him, and I think we can like achieve really great things together, playing together, and yeah, it's just gonna be fun to have a whole season with him now.
Without comparing them too much, do you get the same vibes as dev1ce, dupreeh, and back in the day?
I mean, like me and dupreeh had a different relationship. We knew each other for so long and played together for like 10 years, almost a decade, I think. So it's not like the same. Whereas with blame, I think our ceiling is higher, but I think it also like the friendship and like the memories and everything, experience together has to grow. So I wouldn't compare it really. But I think like in game it's a little bit comparable. I think blame plays a little bit differently than dupreeh. But as I said, like I think our ceiling is actually higher with blame. I think the way he grinds and just puts hours into the game also is just it's just different than any other player.
Here and then, I want to talk a bit about your first match here in Blast Spring Groups, because you will go up against Vitality and your old friends, and it will actually be the first time with the original 5 back in the same server. Have you thought about that before tomorrow?
No, but I thought that we played, when I played it in IP and they played in Astralis, I thought I played all of them. I'm not sure. It could be. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it was then me against all of them, and now it's a little bit more mixed, which is fun. I don't think too much about my opponents in any other way than like how do they play and all that sort of thing, but it's just nice for me to have not seen all of these people for like a year, to just be around like familiar faces that some people you love and some people you've known for a lot of time, and yeah, tomorrow is going to be with some people that I really love and spend a lot of time with.